So in this case, we'll go down, we'll take our Adobe Acrobat deployment, we'll hit load. And if I now come back in and take a look at the installation container, Adobe Acrobat has been selected in the list. Now all I need to do is hit next. This will again start the deployment window and we're ready to deploy. Now in a moment I will send this out to the device. What I'd like to mention is the ability to monitor what's going on. As I'd mentioned to you before, the software deployment, if you've done it as a silent deploy, will be completely silent. The user won't see it happening. This does have the unfortunate side effect that you won't know what's going on either, and you won't know whether it's completed successfully. This is where the software deployment window and also the client manager window come into play. Each of the machines will send status information back during the course of the deployment, and that information will display in the software deployment window, so you'll be able to keep track of which machines have actually received the instruction, what stage they're up to as far as the deployment goes, and whether they've completed successfully. You will also be able to view this information from within the client manager. So in this case, we'll hit start. Okay, the install the program yes indicates that it has actually communicated with the machine and the machine has verified that it's received the instruction. The machine will then commence the installation within 60 seconds, and as you can see, that's picked up now. It's showing installing application 1 of 1 because we've only deployed a single one. So it's now doing the installation as required. At the end of that installation, the status will change. It will show completed, and that's it. Our application is out. Because this was done as a silent install, nothing is currently visible on the other machine. It's running, logged in with applications. Nobody needs to know the difference. Okay, so now that we've completed that portion and we're already up to the 25-minute mark, I shall open up the microphones. If anybody's got any questions or if there's something in particular you'd like me to show, I would invite you all to ask now. Okay, everybody is on the air. Do you have any questions?
Have you got a preferred method of installation, Jeff, if all of the PCs already have local admin access for the users?
Generally speaking, I would still use the silent installer. It's convenient because you can run it at any time. Yeah, even if they've all got admin rights, you wouldn't normally use the current user deployment unless you need to. The disadvantage of using the administrative visible install is that it does require to reboot the machine, even if the current user is an administrator. Doing a current user install doesn't, and doing a silent install never does. So generally we stick with silent.
Okay, fantastic. That was all I was looking to know.
Yep, no problems. Anybody else? No, sounds quiet. Okay, whilst that's going on then, what I might do is I will jump into the client manager. We'll take a look at how we can check the status of each of the machines. So again, we'll find our SOE test machine here. If we want to check and actually see the transcript of all of the deployments that have been done, this is accessible through the RDMC Client Manager. So this is the SOE test machine that we've just deployed the application to. If we go to Remote Client Logs, we can take a look at the installation status log, and this will actually show us every installation that's ever been performed on that machine. So you can see here the date and time that we started, which was 22 seconds past 3:55, starting the installation process. It expired off the installer, etc. This log will always show you the complete installation, and this one is actually still running at the moment. One thing I should mention is there are two different sets of logs. When you look in Remote Client Logs, you've got the installation service log. That is the one that you'll see when you do the silent administrative install. If you're doing a visible install, either current user or administrative visible installs appear in the installation process log. So always make sure that you use the right log when you look at the transcript of the installations which have occurred. That's about it. So, any other questions? Okay, well that being the case, yep, sorry, yeah.
Sorry, Jeff. I would like to know how to do the scheduled deployment, but is that going to be covered at another time? No,
we can do that now actually. Very, very easy. Just a moment and I will show you. So what we'll do is we'll go back into our software collection. window, we do the right click, on-demand software deployment. Now, sorry, one sec. The other thing I should mention is that you can only have a single deployment window at any given time. If that window is currently open, you can't open a new one without closing the one that you've currently got. So we'll close that one, do Remote Management Tools, Software Deployment. Okay, the Schedule tab is here. All you need to do is tick Perform Installation on Schedule, specify the date and time you want it to start, and that's about it. It will then automatically perform the installation at that time. As I mentioned earlier, if you go into the standard installer options and pick Attempt Wake on LAN, it means it will also attempt to wake the machines up. So if you're doing a nighttime deployment when you're expecting the machines to be switched off, it'll power the machines on and perform the installation for you then. And easy as that. Anything else?
I've lost you, sorry.
So, okay. Do you want me to go over that again? Okay, so when you're setting your deployment settings, go back into the deployment properties. So again, this was where you go in to specify your application list, your profiles, etc. There is a scheduling tab here. So simply perform installation on schedule, specify the date and the time that you want this installation to take place. So for example, if I want to do one tonight at 10 o'clock in the evening, and we do 10 o'clock p.m. And basically that's it. Once you start the deployment in this case, rather than the deployment running immediately, it will sit and wait for that schedule to take effect so that at 10 o'clock it will come up and perform the instructions. Now obviously if you set something to run automatically in the evening, you're not necessarily going to be there to watch it, so that's where you can come back the following day, take a look at the logs to actually find out whether or not the deployment was successful. Teams will also have their own individual log of whether that has been the case. I should also mention that if you've got the automatic inventory set up, and as of the next time the machine is inventoried, the software inventory list should reflect the fact that it now has the application that you pushed out to the machines. So that's a good way to actually check and see if your deployment has been successful, is just check the inventory, see if it's showing the software as being out there. Okay, have we got any other questions you can think of? Okay, well I guess if that's it, again I'd like to thank you for joining in. We will be scheduling another webinar soon where we'll cover a different topic, and we'll be expecting to run about a half dozen of these or so. In the meantime also, Sue will be sending out a set of documentation which covers just the area that we've gone through now in step-by-step format and screenshots. We'll also put the transcript of this webinar up on the website so that you can hear it again or show it to somebody else if you want to. If you do get stuck or have any problems, please feel free to give us a call or send an email to the support department, and we can go over with you on a one-on-one basis how to actually perform a deployment, or if you've got a something slightly more complicated that you want to do with deployments, give us a call. We can talk it over and give you some ideas on how to proceed. So, thank you again for joining in, everyone, and I hope to see you at the next webinar. Thanks.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.